Today's lesson is on workplace and apprenticeship, 30.7, owning a small business. Every business starts with an idea a person thinks could be profitable. Before you start a business, you will need to do market research to establish that it is feasible. Are there enough potential customers to support your business? Are there competitors? If so, you'll make your business stand out by offering something that your competitors do not. If it is likely that you will need to spend some money on startup costs before you start operating your business. You may need special equipment, for example, a lawnmower or other gardening tools if you start up a yard care business. If you are starting a retail business, you will need to purchase goods to sell and a business license. List any items your business needs and research their cost as part of the planning process. You may have savings to cover your startup costs. Another common way to finance the startup of a small business is with a business loan or line of credit from your financial institution. A financial institution usually requires you to submit a business plan to process a loan application. The cost of interest on the loan or line of credit needs to be included in any financial estimates you make for your business idea. So say you wanted to start up a snow removal business and you need to buy some equipment like a bobcat, then you would go to the bank or a credit union and take out a loan to buy that equipment. The payments on that piece of equipment would need to go in your financial plan as a expense every month. All right, example 1. Tyrone loves skateboarding and wants to seek funding to build a small indoor skate park so that skateboarders can continue their sport through the winter months. After doing some research, he finds out that most people who skateboard are between the ages of 10 and 30. Tyrone considers Edmonton and Calgary as locations. Edmonton has a population of 845,000, and 31.3% of the population is in the age range of skateboarders. In Calgary, the population is 1,100,000, and 27.6% of which are in the target range. So let's see how much population is in each area that would possibly use the skate park. So we take a look at Edmonton, 845,000 times 31.3% as a decimal comes out to 24485. So this is your target population. Okay, Calgary. Calgary has 1,100,000 and 27.6% as a decimal comes out to 303,600 people. So if you look just strictly on number of people, Calgary would be a better place to build it. What other factors must you consider before you build a park? Well, you may want to consider how many parks are in each city. If Calgary already has 5 or 6 parks and Edmonton only has 1, then it might be better to build it in Edmonton. So other factors would include, are there existing parks? Example 2, Veronica is planning a business selling quilted items at a fair near Waldheim. She already has made quilts as a hobby, so she has a sewing machine, quilting frame, and other tools and doesn't need to buy them. What she does estimate as startup costs is $650 for fabric, $150 for quilting patterns, $35 to buy a cash box, and $85 for a sign to post at the craft fair. She also needs to pay $125 registration fee. How much will she need for startup costs? So we're going to take and add these items together with the registration costs. So $650, $150, $35, $85, $125 comes to a total of $1,045 for startup costs. She has $800 in her savings. If this isn't enough to start her business, how could she adjust her initial cost? Well, no, she doesn't have enough, so she has to make some adjustments. What things could she adjust? Well, she could buy a smaller amount of fabric or cheaper fabric. She could use something she already has for a cash box. She doesn't need to spend $35 on one. She maybe could make her own sign and save herself some money there instead of paying $85. And the last option would be maybe to buy fewer patterns or purchase them later. All right, example 3. Hazel works as a hairdresser in a salon and has decided she wants to open her own salon. She already has many of the items that she would need because she had to supply her own scissors, razors, curling iron, straighteners, brushes, perm curlers, combs for her current job. List other items she is likely to need to start her own salon. Okay, so things like a location for her business. She'll need some professional styling chairs. She would need hair washing, sink and chair, desk, mirrors, cabinets, hair dyes, professional hair dryers, maybe some laundry facilities to wash towels, telephone, computers, capes, towels, business license, and advertising. The following is an activity to help with startup costs versus operating costs, to look at the difference. A startup cost are things that have to be paid for before the business begins. So one-time costs such as safety gear, hard hats, goggles, work boots, tools, uniforms. Operating expenses would be things like gasoline for delivery trucks, monthly telephone bills, annual truck insurance. So we're going to take a look at a scenario, and you are going to come up with ideas of what would be, So in high school, Roman worked on the yearbook for 3 years and discovers that he loves taking photos. He's developed some basic skills. After graduation, he took a photography course and is now preparing to open his own studio. So he will have to purchase equipment and rent a location for indoor photo shoots. In the table below are some of the costs and expenses Roman expects to have before both startups and once his business is operating. Okay, so I want you to list of Roman's costs and expenses is incomplete. Make a list of other expenses he may have to start his own business. You might look up some things on the internet. Remember that Roman needs to pay himself a living wage, so he has to actually make some money off this business. Then you divide the expenses into startup and operating costs. So just make a table, make a column with startup costs and a column with operating costs. How much money does Roman need to start his photography business? And how much money does Roman need to earn in 1 year to cover his startup costs and his operating costs? So a good task that will bring into account all the things that you've learned so far in this outcome. And the answers will be here. All right, you're going to turn to your workbook and build your skills, page 296 to 301.